Hello, and we are officially so back. GM, Chip, Brad, Onto. I don't know why I can't say that word out loud. It's one of those things you see typed so often and hard to put into words. Ori, of course, GM, Jonathan, Katie. Thank you guys for hanging out. The schedule is live for the past half hour or so and been slaving away, putting it into sheet here ready, finally ready to do my first full BBM draft. Paulie GM, Dosh, Meatwad, love it. Does anyone care? Well, let me start with this. I won't take too much time so we can get into the draft, but I wanted to look at just real quick a couple of outlier guys I'm super high and super low on versus the market this year before we get into the draft and just kind of shill my rankings. Obviously, it's on easydfs.xyz. Been doing MLB a couple times a week. We've got best ball rankings are up for Underdog. They will be live for DraftKings before the weekend, and I'll be putting the sheet up. Got new plan options for you guys. But yeah, if you subscribe here, you have the rankings here in a table. But the easiest thing to do would be you just click this button to download the CSV, and it'll download the CSV, and you can upload that directly onto Underdog. These will be updated probably a couple times a week or if there's news. So yeah, just real quick, to no one's surprise, Derrick Henry appears near the top of my rankings versus ADP list. Really good situation, I think, possibly for touchdowns in Baltimore relative to Tennessee. Devontae Adams always been a baller. 3 more dome games. Yeah, I haven't dove in on like the matchup specific stuff yet, but that's fun. Guys like Godwin, Kieran Williams. I'm curious. Let me see who the guys that I hate. Saquon, sad. Trader left the Giants. Rashee Rice is an interesting one. Wonder where the bottom is on his ADP. I've got him. Just there's so many receivers that are close enough. It's really hard to sign up for a guy that you think might only play 10 games, even though how much of the pool is paid out in week 17. So that's a decision that you might have to make. And then Drake London. But anyway, that's kind of I wouldn't say necessarily boring stuff. Yeah, Drake London, man. I don't know. I'm just not there. It's like 21 seems like a really high rating for someone that hasn't done it yet. And I understand Kirk Cousins thing. Apparently Kirk Cousins means Drake London is going to be a first round borderline guy. I'm not there yet. He's never been like a super high scorer, even dating back to USC. I kind of have to see it before I believe it. He's big body, good draft capital, all that. New coordinators. Kirk Cousins in the absence of Arthur Smith should be big positives there. But I kind of prefer Chris Olave to dominate the Saints in targets more than I do Drake London fighting potentially with Kyle Pitts and Bijan Robinson, as opposed to Olave's got, Shaheed and Kamara there. It's just an example, but I think it's like the tier is pretty flat, right? Like you have a lot of guys between like Mike Evans and London, Olave, etc. Devontae. So yeah, this is I should have this live, the V1 of this before the weekend. I'll try and get this out to you guys, so you can start to play around with it, for your drafts starting this weekend. And make iterations as we go throughout the season. So let me just throw my D&D on as I'm getting text. But as changes happen, but also I'm planning, this uses my rankings, which come from projections that I've tweaked manually for every team, every player in the pool. and continue to update as we get more information. But what I want to be able to give to you guys, there's a lot of good or plethora of rankings sites out there, or people do their own rankings. If you want to import from, Established to Run, Legendary Upside, or countless others, I want to be able to give you the opportunity to do that, and then see what the correlation boosts do. It's just it's trying to figure out a way to reverse engineer projections based on someone else's rankings is not the easiest thing that I've ever done, but we'll have something out probably on sooner than later. Hodge, we are so fucking back, dude. Stoked to use the tool. I appreciate that. Can you sum up their spike weeks from last year so I can draft off those? No. I won't do that. But if you do want to look at last year's rankings and for how you draft for this year, like I suppose there's places online that allow you to do that. So yeah, basically the backbone is the rankings and projections, but we'll get to the fun stuff. If you haven't seen this sheet, maybe this isn't the the deep dive. We'll do that as we go along, but essentially the TLDR is it's a really good companion on desktop. It does work on your phone, but if you have the Google Sheets app, it's not 100% the best. But just to comply with like terms of service, and I'm also not a dev, so everything has to be in Google Sheets instead of like interfacing on the on Underdog. But you basically just type in your pick number, and as you go, let's say we have pick number 6 and we get Amon-Ra. What this does is allows you to, when you're on the clock, see, I have Amon-Ra, he plays Buffalo, at Chicago, at San Francisco, and what that means helps you quantify how valuable certain players are based on like teammates and opponents in the playoffs. So a great example here that's going to be really popular, similar to the Dallas-Detroit last year. If you played, CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra St. Brown was a really good stack. This year, Amon-Ra with, Ayuk or Deebo Samuel is going to be super popular. What I have calculated here uses a blend of, how much you value week 17 versus week 16 versus week 15 versus the regular season. I have recommendations here what you can do. If you're a type of person that thinks week 16 matters like a whole lot, you can go in and update that. But just stick with the defaults here. What this will basically tell you is, Brandon Ayuk, who you'll be up pick 19. Ayuk and Deebo Samuel have ADPs, 18 and 22, ranked 18 and 19. But having picked Amon-Ra St. Brown, they go up in value that much. It falls them ahead of Devontae Adams, who I have ranked higher, but with the correlation kind of flips. So this helps. It's a really good tool, I think, to quantify your decisions as you go through the draft board. Nez GM, thanks for coming by, buddy. And Alex. So let's jump into it. Oh, and just like, so this kind of predicts based on when your next pick will be 5 spots before you and, 15 to 20 spots after. If there's someone that you want to just like mess around with, you can like type them in. I don't know, for some reason you want to see what Zay Flowers looks like. And then at the bottom, it shows you all players that I have ranked that correlate. So having picked Amon-Ra, this is sort of like your fake star method. If you subscribe to something like that, this is the entire pool of players that correlate, or I have correlating to Amon-Ra St. Brown. So obviously all of his teammates on Detroit, Laporta, Montgomery, Goff, it's a big boost. But then, his week 17 opponents, Brandon Ayuk, DJ Moore in week 16, and then you have, the Buffalo guys in week 15. So yeah, you have that. Or you enjoy that. You put in a lot of work on the Bears. You deserve some good. Lions are dead, brother. Week 16 is all that matters. So yeah, I personally am of the belief that I don't think matchups matter. I don't think December matchups matter and should influence who you pick in May or even September. The Cleveland Jets game where Trevor Siemian played Joe Flacco and the final score is 37-20 last year. I don't know. I think you pick the players that you want, and you just hope those game environments overperform, especially if the field is overreacting. But let's jump in. Let's jump into a draft. I'll try and go through. Oh, insta-filled. So I don't know if people are. I think week 16 is pretty real. I got pick 5. But yeah, pick the best players that make sense for the team is basically my motto. So I have my rankings here, and then the rankings on this other sheet. So I'll punch in pick 5, which is great. I think that there is sort of a teardrop. I'll see if I think the top 2 or 3 are pretty solidified. I think Chase and Jefferson are a tier, and then there's a drop. Yeah, I think everyone missed. I think I was the last person to fill. So sorry that you didn't get in. If you want to join the next lobby, I'm sure it'll be a fun one. I don't recognize any of these names. Apologies if anyone's here. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with pick 5. Keeps you flexible both directions. It gives you access to one of what I think are the 5 elite players this year. But yeah, as we go, I'll keep this updated. Try and bounce back and forth. Will you be using any overlays? I'm not sure. Like, I haven't in the past. And me personally, like, I'll probably end up memorizing most of it and do like my computer drafts. I'll just use this sheet. I haven't used them in the past. I know Brick obviously has a good tool. Plan would be Friday, Saturday at the latest for the V1. Rankings are live now, and I just want to sit and actually do some drafts with it before I throw it out there. So yeah, it's Justin Jefferson for me. It is a tier break. I'm happy to scoop Justin Jefferson. So it can be intimidating. I try to make it simple to use, but like an endless amount of stuff to look at if you want to go down that rabbit hole. So yeah, not a lot. So Justin Jefferson plays Chicago, at Seattle, and Green Bay. Oh, home in week 15 or week 17 in the Dome is nice. Not a whole lot of the round or anyone in round 2 or correlating with Justin Jefferson. You don't have to correlate every pick. Also, by the way, guys, we'll see as things go. I think people can tend to over correlate. This tries to help you quantify the what I believe in, through the research that I've done, like the more correct ways to correlate. Why is the stream off? Balti GM. All right, so we don't have to stare at this. We can come back and see what this looks like. So for me, the first round, last year I had a lot more. I think last year I will have had much tighter distribution of my picks than I will this year for a number of reasons. At least at the top. One, I thought that there was a couple of really inefficient ADPs last year. This year at the top, it's like I might disagree with some, but I don't think people are off by so much. I haven't really looked at the schedule yet to see if there's like a schedule angle I want to attack. And then 2, the flattening of week 17 and the importance of week 17 and the disimportance of the regular season as far as payouts are concerned leads me to want to invest in my guys, but not necessarily have so many exact duplicates of teams and structures. So we'll see what that leads to. But yeah, I think the top 5 is pretty strong. I think Bijan Amon-Ra is good. I'm not there on Gibbs. Like, I like him as a player. I'm just not all the way there. Like, here, I like these receivers a lot. So yeah, this Gibbs Ayuk is going to be one of those where both players ADPs probably start to rise as they correlate with each other. Jonathan Taylor. So I got Kieran at the top of my ranks. Debo Evans will flip back. So you're watching me do this live to see how easy or not easy it is while hosting my first stream in a while. So there are no correlation things here, and the top three guys here are already gone. So obviously, I think it's Kieran is the guy that I'm super high on. People, I don't know, we'll get there. His ADP seems to be falling. It's like some sort of coordinated FUD effort. I joke there, but he's not a special talent. But this offense and McVay are super special. I don't think Blake Corum is. If you think Kieran is bad, like Blake Corum is also bad, and just because he was drafted in the third round, he might just be direct backup. Maybe he plays a little more. How much? It's just a matter of how much you think getting 97%, 90% of snaps mattered for Kieran's value last year, as opposed to being the goal line guy and catching a bunch of passes for a really efficient offense. So I do want to, and like my rankings reflect this, like I do want to overrepresent receiver early in the draft. So let's say like 4 through my first 7 picks or 5 through my first 7 picks if I can, if I don't go a tight end detour. But I do think Kieran Williams in this year won't exactly be like last year, but if he repeats last year, it's like he's like a top half of the first round type of value. So I think you're getting a full round plus of Blake Corum in regression, which I think, I'm fine investing there. So we'll see if there's any correlation stuff here. DK Metcalf, week 16 with Justin Jefferson apparently, and DJ Moore a little bit in week 15. But other than that, it's more or less, just pick who I want here. Mike Evans goes. So yeah, I've got Derrick Henry at the top. I'm not in love with the double running back here. So I will go with one of Devontae, DJ Moore, or Metcalf. I have Metcalf ranked 1 here, but as you see, like this tier, like the yellow kind of signifies a tier break. Like it's all one flat tier. I'm actually going to go Devontae Smith. And the reason for that, maybe I should have gone DJ Moore with the value, but I'm going to go Devontae Smith and see if I can get Jalen Hurts to fall, because I've been seeing a lot of that. And I think the elite quarterbacks are pretty fairly or underpriced relative to the tier 2 and 3 quarterbacks this year. Maybe I should have gone DJ Moore, but that's why you get in the room and you draft. So, Jordan, what's up, man? Yeah, so AJ Brown guy behind me takes Jalen Hurts, so now the plan is ruined. That's all right. Justin Jefferson. JJ McCarthy is one of my favorite values in the entire draft. So if I leave here without JJ McCarthy, I'd be really disappointed and surprised, frankly. He's going to push up quite a bit. So here's an example of what, I think the power and value of this tool is. So, having just taken Justin Jefferson, no other correlating pieces. So JJ McCarthy here, his ADP is 179. I have him ranked 153, but because I took Justin Jefferson, his value to me becomes 109. That's without any other changes. So like to basically put additional chips behind my Justin Jefferson bet. If I'm saying Justin Jefferson pays off this tag and is, you know, competing with or better than Jamar Chase, etc., like that means that JJ McCarthy is doing things. Or it's Nick Mullins, but whatever. Yeah, this is smart. And sometimes you don't think of everything. And that's why you have a chat to tell you that you're dumb. So thank you, Chip, for telling me that after I clicked the button. Kelsey would have been nice. T. Higgins goes. Pacheco, someone I'm super high on. Mandrews, McBride, Mahomes. Let's see if there's any receivers that correlate. Zay Flowers is probably gone. I don't want Mahomes naked here. T. Higgins is not some. Oh, he went. So this might just be a Pacheco. This might be Pacheco. And then I leave running back alone for a little while. If I can help it. Don't stream and draft, kids. Yeah, Chiefs gives us obviously a lot of options here. I'm curious how Mahomes grades out if he falls, which I'm not expecting him to. Yeah, so he grades out pretty favorably if he were to fall. But what's nice here, now that I've taken Pacheco, and Xavier Worthy does show as negative. With Pacheco, it's hard for them to both get there in like the single weeks. It can happen. It just becomes really good if you start to get an opponent mixed in into that game script or the quarterback. So I'll be super happy with any of these, or even Keenan Allen, as he correlates with Justin Jefferson. Mahomes goes to a guy, I guess, with Pickens. This guy's obviously paying attention to the schedule with Sam Laporta, the CMC thing. Man, my queue is getting snatched up. But yeah, Worthy, Keenan, and Hollywood. So yeah, I do have like Worthy down here, but if I were to add, let's say I pencil in Jaylen Warren here, it makes Xavier Worthy go up a little bit relative to not having Jaylen Warren. So there's ways that, like, if you know what you're going to do later, there's ways to start to plan for that. But yeah, I'm curious if, does the chat have a thought on Worthy versus Keenan? Keenan gives me a quarterback out with Caleb Williams. I do have them all ranked, pretty much back to back. I will be going with JJ McCarthy. I'm struggling to think of my other quarterback plan. So between Keenan and Xavier Worthy here. Keenan, Xavier Worthy. Now let's take the young guy. All right, we'll go Worthy. So what's interesting here that I just kind of fell backwards into, and what I think also, like, people have overlays and it's great too. What I just realized is the Chiefs play Pittsburgh in week 17 and Pittsburgh plays the Eagles in week 15. So people are not really thinking about week 15 much. It's still 1 out of 13 advance. Week 16 is 1 out of 16. So it's still not easy to get out of there. So if pulling this, like, in the future, if I get, it's like pick 92, like you can start to, once you get reps, and I don't have them, but once you start to know, like, oh, like later on, at pick 92, which I have here, ADP 92 is Jaylen Warren. That's just funny that worked out that way. Or Najee is going to be. So I'll have like the opportunity to take one of these guys potentially as my RB3 and enhance my Chiefs bet as well as my Eagles bet earlier. So you can use this as sort of like a mock draft tool. You can use it to kind of plan your future rounds and understand like not only when you're on the clock, but what you're going to do, as your draft progresses here. Nate, congratulating me on, I don't know what. So, let's see. Yeah, Hollywood goes. So I'm curious, right? Like, things tend to flatten out quite a bit tier wise. So it really gives you a lot of options here. But yeah, we'll wait until we're closer to on the clock. Drafting some high T, robust RB in the puppy right now. Jordan, that is your God-given right, friend. That is your God-given right. Would you? I guess like, oh man, Keenan would have been a sick fall here. Like, I'm actually not even against like Odunze here. Curious as we approach being on the clock. We're gonna have choices like Godwin, Addison, Rome, Calvin Ridley. Let's see if any of them just went. Godwin is gone. So this is probably my probable selection. So like Addison is rough correlation wise, but we can fix that. Rome, and I think Calvin Ridley still grades well. So yeah, and they're all in similar tier. I'm actually Addison, or I'm probably not gonna get a bunch of Rome. Gives me the Caleb out, so I'll actually go with Rome here. So I'm not like ultra high on him, but at pick 68, I think that's like okay. That is cheaper than what JSN was last year. So it's like the lazy comparison. Chip, I'm not drafting against all the other sweaty versions tonight. Edging, yeah. I like strategy wise for me and my bankroll and plans. Like I'm going to max it, but I want to save as many bullets for late as possible. Like I'm a big information matters guy. So yeah, like I think it's just much easier to, like, I don't think you lose much. I think information and health matters more than ADP, essentially. So I'm doing this because I wanted to get a feel for the rooms before I start telling people, like, I want to stand behind my products, right? When I am selling a product and telling people, advising people on who to draft and when to draft, I want to have skin in the game, and like that's something you can't really fake. So I do want the real reps here to see how my rankings hold up, to see how the sheet holds up, if there's ways I can make it better, ways I can, improve, or like, yeah, just understand the market a little better. But me personally, I plan like out of 150, like I'd like to do 100 or more in the last month. So we'll start to see 2 picks away. I would love Addison to fall. That would be such a gift. Otherwise, Brian Thomas I'm okay with as a tight end, or sorry, as a receiver, and then DeAndre Hopkins, someone I'm fairly high on. Let's see. Then ADP, Keon Coleman, man, that is high. Wow, what a gift. What a gift, Jordan Addison. So I'm now apparently overstacking week 15. Not necessarily overstacking, but yeah, now I've got a lot of Green Bay to attack later. Caleb. So what I thought might have been like the Najee Warren here, as you see, they become really good because of my Pittsburgh adjacent bets. Caleb becomes a must grab, or someone you know, not a must grab with Rome, but someone who's definitely in consideration. Jaden Daniels, I really like. Jordan Love plus his late stuff. But yeah, this seemed like this is a one where I would say I survived the two running back detours early pretty well. A lot of young talent here as well. Jefferson, Devontae. Like, is Devontae Smith the oldest receiver on this team? Maybe Jefferson is like a little bit older. Jonathan Brooks, someone I'm super high on. He's like by far and away the best running back prospect of this draft class. Carolina as a team probably going to be quite bad, but not much standing in the way of him getting touches if and when he's healthy. And I think he should, like, they're saying that he can be ready for camp. So if that news comes, like, I think around pick 80 is where he ends up. And that would probably be cheap. If we're talking about a meta where running backs that are young, he plays in all three downs. So, someone I'm much more excited about Brooks than I am Ramondre Stevenson, just as like the one for one. Or Zamir White. Like, I understand there's not much in the way of talent in the Raiders backfield, but like Zamir White, who only exists because of volume, whereas Jonathan Brooks, in theory, has explosiveness. So let me start to think about if I want to pull the Caleb trigger here or if I want to push it. I do think I might want to push it to have a lot of quarterbacks. If I can get one of the Pittsburgh running backs, I'd be okay with that. Tight end, starting to get nervous-ish about getting left out, but that's okay. The other thing that this tool has, your wide receiver, like your investment. So I'm already in. Oh, this should go here. I'm already in like the 80th percentile of wide receiver investment. So like, I think it would be a mistake to draft 8 or 9 on this type of team. And as I see you, I'll get there. So yeah, Jaylen Warren, I can double confirm, but I think he's going to grade out better than James Conner, given my Chiefs bet earlier. Yeah. I will never, I promise you, I will never draft 4 tight ends. Can't do it. You're going to get 18 roster spots. You can only use 2 tight ends in a week. And I don't think you really want to be using multiple tight ends in a week. You can help it. I think I'm just fine going to war with my 3 bad ones as they come. But because of like this investment that I have at running back and receiver, like I'll almost definitely have 5 combined quarterback tight ends, if not 6. I prefer this early. I prefer bullets at skill positions and guys that I think could rise a whole bunch based on camp news and things like that. But we'll see. This team has not given me the opportunity to draft a quarterback yet, and I think I saw Caleb just came off the board here. So tight end, we've got Bowers. I do have the Hawk button. I could press, and then quarterback. I mean, I might, if I can, I might slam the Jaden Daniels button here. Someone I'm really high on versus ADP, and I had to suppress him just so I wouldn't get like 100%. I just think it's the archetype that you really want. Let me see if there's any like Lockett, Williams, Sutton. Like those are guys that are all like perfectly okay. I just am not dying for them as my wide receiver 6. It's more of like a slam this button if you need the emergency wide receiver 4 and you didn't invest enough early on. And this is a super flat. I have this super flat this whole next 2 rounds. No big jumps anywhere. A bunch of white, but I have Caleb, who fell off, Jaden Daniels, and then a huge, not huge, but like, pretty big gap here. I do want to just so Brock Bowers. Yeah, I'd rather go Jaden Daniels here. I'll figure tight end out. I don't have a stack partner yet for Daniels, but I do know that they are out there. Obviously, his fullback, Ben Sinnott. And a lot of people saying Sinnott. I watched the tape, guys, and by that I mean I watched literally. I typed in Ben Sinnott into YouTube. I watched one play. I actually didn't even watch the entire play. I just waited until the announcer said his name, and then I turned it off. And it's Sinnott. So you have Sinnott, but yeah, Washington. I mean, I'm not dying to get like Eckler, but I could shut it down at 5 running backs. I probably will shut it down at 5 running backs almost no matter what in this team. I can't see me drafting more than 7 receivers either. But yeah, if I can go Dotson, Sinnott, McCaffrey, I hate to say it, it's not likely that Zach Ertz is contributing to your teams positively in December, but as a bailout guy on this kind of team, I could see it. I might end up going 3 quarterback, 3 tight end, and with that 5 running back plan and a 7 receiver plan. So we'll see how this goes. I pick next at 116. So Dotson. If I can get Dotson at 125, this is the type of sick stuff that you do. It's like you can sort of try and fill in the gaps here. Like if I could get like Eckler Dotson here, Komet, or even Freiermuth. Where does Pat Freiermuth go? 142. Yeah. So like Freiermuth or Komet. Will you draft any Fields? Yes, I will draft Justin Fields, even though he's apparently like plus 500 or plus 700 to freaking start week 1. But you could survive with Justin Fields early quarterback. We'll see what we can do. But yeah, something like this. Jermaine Burton is someone that I'm super high on. JJ McCarthy. Christian McCaffrey in this round would be really nice. JJ McCarthy, Fields, like this team starts to finish itself. So something like that would be plan A. Let's see. So Hawkinson went. So AD Mitchell, someone is interesting, but let's not get sidetracked here. Who are we supposed to do? Singletary, Jacoby, Goddard, tight ends. Like, am I gonna reach for Freiermuth because I'm panicking on this clock right now? Tajay Spears. Now we'll go AD Mitchell. Was not part of the plan, and I have. We'll find out what that makes me do. They play the Giants week 17. Maybe this opens Daniel Jones up. So right now we got 1 quarterback, no tight ends yet. Let me start to queue up tight ends so I don't forget about them. Running backs, no one I'm super thirsty over. Tajay, Zeke, Sharps, fine. Chandler or Marshawn Lloyd would work with the Justin Jefferson pick. Receiver got like a Dotson and shut it down kind of plan cooking right now, unless I go with like a late Giant. But yeah, I think that my primary plan here would be Dotson. Maybe wait if Dotson falls, because you can get McCaffrey much cheaper later. And I'm starting to sweat a tiny little bit over tight end. Romeo Dobbs is pretty cheap. Not someone I'm falling over, and he goes anyway. So ADP wise, anyone that I had, no, I'm like super excited about. So it's Dotson or Freiermuth. Who would annoy me more? This guy behind me also doesn't have a tight end. I'm gonna go Pat. A little Penn State. We are go Pat Freiermuth. A little bit of a reach here, but if I back this bet up with Justin Fields later, makes things better. This helps, back up my Pacheco and worthy investments just a little bit, 1% here and there. Who's both PSU? I fell behind. Chip, how many 1 QB? Zero. This is bad, really bad. Percentiles are based on last year. This is stolen from, borrowed, lent without permission from ETR, the manifesto. So I think this is actually a year old. So I'm curious how that's changed. If it's changed, I'll relook at that. But it's at least like a guide. It's like a navigational beacon. It's not necessarily be all and all. Oh yeah, Dotson and Freiermuth. Duh. But yeah, Dotson. I do want my fair share of Dotson, especially on Jaden Daniels teams. But I don't need my wide receiver 7, yet. My quarterback plan here, McCarthy and Fields. I actually drafted 4 quarterback last year, once or twice. And I think I advanced one of those. Or I think I advanced my 4 quarterback team. So I'm curious if this is like, I don't have all right, let me see what quarterbacks. It's just going to be the darkest green is probably going to be the quarterback. So yeah, Justin Fields, McCarthy, I guess, or Russ. If that button gets hit, it's taken from me. But the other thing, you always have the Drake May out as well. And this is going to be a team that gets very few points at quarterback early. I'm getting a lot of Freiermuth early. Both Wilson and Fields are dumb, but they can throw 3 yards. Yeah, dude. Cole Kmet had a sneaky great year last year. Granted, maybe some of that was touchdown variance, but I don't know how much you translate that over across teams. But yeah, I think with the absence of Deontay Johnson, he's been replaced by Roman Wilson, who's going to be a possible target here. Cole Kmet goes. Early for these quarterbacks, I'm good on receiver for a while. I like guys like Burton. I like Leggett, and Leggett gives me the Bryce Young thing later, which I'm not really dying for. Roman Wilson later. So yeah, I'm actually I'll go Zeke here. ADP value on a guy that I'm ahead of market on. As an RB4, I honestly could even shut it down here. Let me see my bye weeks at running back, or yeah, I mean I could maybe use another. I could use a 5th running back, but just we're talking about Rico Dowdle and Tony Pollard last year. So if you transfer over Tony Pollard volume to Zeke. He's like a giga smash, and obviously he can't do exactly that, but Zeke is probably a top 10 or so touchdown expectation guy entering this year. So I don't think it's just a floor play. I think you have legitimate outs to him having, being like the David Montgomery of last year, or even a Jamal Williams of 2 years ago, as far as like Lions stuff. Going to be on the clock soon again here. So now, tight end, like, might be a little reachy, but do you grab, well, Sinnott here? Man, I really don't like this ADP for Sinnott. Where do I have him dynamically ranked? So I have him ranked 166. With Daniels, I have him 157. I'm not dying for it. I'd love to get it on a fall. How does that compare to Hunter Henry? He is ahead of Hunter Henry, right? So that's kind of what you're trying to evaluate here. Ty Chandler also allows me to be done at running back and feel really good about my 5 guys. There's some guys that I like late, like Julian McLaughlin, Tyrone Tracy. But if I could be done with Ty Chandler, stack a piece, I think I'll feel really good about that. Same bias, 2 of my early guys. That's okay. So the thing with buys, and I have it here. Another feature I kind of sim based on bye weeks and correlations. Basically looks at average or median scores and player distributions and bye weeks and what positions you have filled. But what I forget what the number is, but it's very rare that the margin of one player on a bye week is what actually impacts whether you advance or not. Like the amount, your advance cushion versus how many points you get from adding like a round 16 Band-Aid. So this is something like the reason why I'm not saying you should not draft one tight end, like Chip says. Getting that Band-Aid tight end is probably median like freaking 5 points, right? Versus taking a 0. It's just all of the other weeks where tight ends are getting 0 or 0 adjacent scores. It gives you more cushion, plus less likely to show up with a super chalk. Like if your single tight end is good enough to make it through the week 15 and week 16 gauntlets, you're going to just represent a super chalk build in week 17. So, I don't care that much about bye weeks because I think the teams that advance versus the teams that don't advance usually have 50 plus point cushions on average. I wish I had that actual number, but it's not likely that drafting that fill-in running back, like I'll try and think of an example. I don't know why Theo Riddick is in my head. Like what's a 2024 example of Theo Riddick? Like not even Jerick McKinnon. Like yeah, like one of these Bears guys, right? Like to get a Bear running back to fill in for my bye week, like the median expectation for that Bears running back in that bye week is less than 10 points, which is not going to swing advancing or not. So that's why I'm not a huge fan of just draft. Like I'm not a huge fan of the importance of bye weeks. Cynic goes, but that's okay. Unless a running back like crazy falls, I'm probably done at running back with these 5. We'll see, like investment capital wise, it's close to 50th percentile. I feel good about that. Mayfield goes. Yeah, so this is one where I'm fine reaching on ADP. Like my draft sort of hinges on JJ McCarthy. Like I have him dynamically ranked as the 50th best player. Just given my Justin Jefferson bet, my Jordan Addison bet, my Ty Chandler bet. I don't have any Packers here, right? So that's something to keep in mind. I think I saw Musgrave go, but like Tucker Kraft is going to be someone who eventually, grades well as a bringback for this team. Where is he? A little boost there for the opposing tight end. Let's see, in Packers. Yeah, everyone else is mostly gone. Like I'm not going to be going with the Bo. Well, I'll click him just so we have him, so we don't forget about him. Yeah, this is like you don't have to correlate every single player in every single week, right? Minnesota can get there without Green Bay, or I use this Minnesota game in week 15 and or 16, and then in 17 it's going to be the Jaden Daniels show for me. So this just helps quantify like when should I slam the week 17 button versus the week 16 button versus kind of the value button, I would say. So I'm okay with either Fields or May as my third quarterback. I'm actually starting to think more about May than Fields, and there goes McCaffrey. So it might be a naked, it's probably going to be a naked Jaden Daniels, but reason why is like Hunter Henry here opens up the May, and there's a lot of receivers for the Patriots. Man, I'm going to go with a 3 rookie quarterback build. That's okay. Like Demario Douglas is going to be at the top of the ranking queue for a while. Hunter Henry, come on down. Good ADP value on a guy that I really kind of could use roster allocation wise. Patriots in control. Douglas. I'll click Gibson, like if he's there in round 18 or something. KJ Osborne, I guess. Wonder how many JJ pairings. Yeah, man. Like the bull case for JJ McCarthy, and like I'm a huge Penn State guy, and I really did not like. I really hate Michigan. I really did not like JJ McCarthy in college, but in the NFL, like he's walking into one of the best like situations, not necessarily of all time, but like a tier 1 or 2 situation you could walk into as a rookie as far as play callers. You have top 5-ish like fantasy friendly and quarterback friendly like offense, like one that what's his name, not Mullins. Who was the quarterback that was starting? It wasn't Mullins. Last year, like week 16 and 17 was going for like 400 plus yards and like 6 interceptions for the Vikings last year. But you're throwing at Justin Jefferson, TJ Hawkinson, Jordan Addison. Like Caleb is walking into a really good situation too. But as far as coaching plus weapons, like he's walking into a really good situation. Was it Mullins? It might have been Mullins. I don't know if it was Dobbs or Mullins. Who was? I don't know why I'm thinking it was someone else. But yeah. But anyway, like we've seen it. They play at home in like 2 late December games at home in the Dome are really nice too. There goes Demario Douglas, whom big fan of. Do I just go Drake May here at 188? Yeah. going with a 3 rookie build. Fields goes, so that's nice. But I at least had the Drake May option. So something like if you're not streaming and if you're like able to like actually focus on your own draft, something else that I have here is like how many week 17 stacks and bringbacks you have. So right now, really, if all I have for week 17 specifically is KC against Pittsburgh, and then I guess is it Dallas plays Philly. So I have this like little Devontae Smith Zeke mini, which like take it or leave it. I don't think that's a huge one. I have this, 2-2 Kansas City Pittsburgh, but yeah, I don't have anything for Minnesota yet. Don't have anything for New England yet, and if I don't. It's okay, right? Because for Minnesota, I do have that week 15 with Mr. Rome. But yeah, I'm not really seeing much that I could do with Seattle here. Green Bay, I will probably try and take Tucker Kraft here if I can. I do have 2 picks left. I do want another tight end. If I can get Kraft, great. If not, I'm okay with Hurst. Honestly, even Zach Ertz, it's gross. But Jaden Daniels right now does not have any teammates, so if I can get him a teammate, that might make sense. And then receiver, if there's any receiver buttons, like DJ Chark is so gross. But would possibly make sense here. So would Jalen Tolbert. Well, I'm surprised Jalen Tolbert's ADP is like barely drafted. Like, I don't know, doesn't he have like a pretty clear path to being the wide receiver 3 in Dallas? So yeah, now that I took Tucker Kraft, I'll take Ertz off because I can't be doing the 4-10 end thing. So I'll be finishing with a receiver. As like a completionist, Kraft feels good here. Kraft feels good here as a completionist, but like it's not a huge boost, right? Because it's just like literally one game, right? Aren't you worried about Ryan Flournoy? Can you tell me something about this fellow? Because I'm not currently worried or aware of who he is. So. Let's see. Oh, is he gonna stop? Oh, you know what? Is he the Dallas? Sixth round. Yeah, no, I'm good. Yeah, no, I'm good there. I'm good. So yeah, we'll see. Like Kendrick Bourne. But I think he went. So yeah, if I can get Tolbert and like freaking DJ Chark, it's gross. But would help. So I'm good on Melton. So this is like the theoretical scroll down. I just don't know the pool that well yet. Like, is Jameson Crowder going to play ahead of McCaffrey all year? And do I want to stack him up? Do I want to play the Treylon Burks trade angle and try and run pure on that? That would be pretty funny. Jalen McMillan is someone who I actually kind of like. I don't know if he's gone yet. Yeah, he's gone. Yeah, Flournoy was in the Keen Peel sketch. Nice try, Chip. Jerry Rice's son. I should have been in the consideration set. Theo Johnson, grown-ass man from Penn State. Super grown. Goes to the team with Jahan Dotson. Finds him a nice home. A lot of people going 3 quarterback. I did, like all the guys around me did. I guess everyone is scared, and that's okay. I don't think so. The what I would say for three quarterback, more so than even three tight end, it's not about being scared. It's about giving yourself options to uniqueness in the playoffs. This is our line, and we're sticking to it. Am I going to want DJ Chark, Jalen Tolbert, or no? It's not even Kendrick Bourne. It's freaking KJ Osborne. No, I don't want KJ Osborne. Like KJ Osborne. Jalen Tolbert, slight negative correlation, but like whatever. Or DJ Chark as my bring back for Drake May. Really go either way here. I think Tolbert probably has a much better path to like having a season you want, right? Which would be cool. Missed my pick, but it's in. Pick is in Will Shipley, someone that I kind of like. His profile caught a lot of passes wherever it is that he attended university. I want to say it was tennis. No, it was an arm school. Was it Clemson? I watched some film, guys. I did like what I saw from Shipley. Not a huge Trey Benson guy, but opportunity should be there. See other random films that I watched. Jermaine Burton. I really like Jermaine Burton. I don't even care. Probably not. Like, what is my resume? Trying to see other running backs. Bucky Irving is like meh. It's a pretty meh class at running back. Garendo I didn't get to, but so yeah, last pick here. I don't think anyone. Thanks guys for coming by. As you watch me look at the tool live for the first time. Obviously, and it's my first completed draft. I'm not a namer, but I'll name this one just in case it wins. First, 515 stream. So yeah, we went with 3 rookie quarterbacks, and I don't know if any of them. I think Jaden Daniels ought to start week 1. Jaden Daniels, JJ McCarthy, Drake May. Running backs: Kieran Williams, Pacheco, Jalen Warren, Zeke, Chandler. I really like that room a lot. Wide receiver: Jefferson, Devontae, Worthy, Odunze, Addison. A.D. Mitchell, I think, was a timeout. I don't know what I would have done, but we'll see how that one works out. Jalen Tolbert, and then Fairmouth, Henry, Tucker Kraft. Not the most exciting tight end room, but Cromulent. Oof, what a doozy. Have you tested the tool's predictive power versus the 667,000 BBM4 rosters and their actual performance? Oh, like, have I gone back? No. I am curious to see. I think I did look at the winning roster. My computer is good enough for me, barely, in my purposes, and like doing crypto stuff and spreadsheets and NFTs. I've tried to download the prior year, like the rosters, and like it crashes on me. I might do a series or something and look at, top performing teams, whether it was, we don't care about the regular season anymore, but look at, some of the top performers of the finals last year and see, how they graded out, like the correlation levers that they pulled. But no, I haven't necessarily back tested there. Man, that's like, you're like on your way out and you get hit with like a really intellectual question that's going to make me look dumb. You hate to see that, but thank you for coming by anyway. Yeah, I'm actually I think this is like a 8 out of 10. Like, I'm really happy with running back, receiver, quarterback, tight end. We'll have to make things work. As far as plans for the rest of this summer, so the sheet will be live. I'm aiming for Friday. Aiming for Friday on the sheet going live for you guys. You can make a copy, and um, yeah, rankings are available now. We'll update, and then right now it supports Underdog. I have DraftKings. I'm working through the 20 rounds versus 18, as well as like the 100-yard bonuses and things like that. Um, so that'll all be live probably within a week or so. So if you made it this far, you're awesome. Hit the like on your way out. Tell a friend, and I will see you guys in the lobbies. And I guess I can, yeah, whatever. Love you. Later. Peace.